Ms. Blaney for 2 minutes and a half, please.
Wow, this has been very interesting, so thank you again for testifying. I want to ask you two questions and then give you the very limited amount of time I have to answer them. The first one is around the mission classification. What can MPs do to help? Like, what do you think would be helpful? That's one question. And then the other thing that I heard you say repeatedly in your testimony was about money. Why aren't they doing it? Money. So my question to you is, can Canada afford this?
So thank you very much, Ms. Blaney, and that's a great question. The Canadian government could afford to take billions of injury dollars away from its most vulnerable Canadians that serve for them. They can certainly afford to give it back. That is the only answer I have. If you had properly classified these missions as wartime service and paid people appropriately, we wouldn't be having the discussion of having to turn over billions of dollars to veterans and fix it. But I say to you that if the government of Canada is strong enough to take money from injured veterans who can't fight for themselves, then it is certainly strong enough to pay for those people when they're caught doing bad things. So my answer to you is yes. And a reminder, we did have 1 million World War II, 1 million World War I, 2 million World War II veterans, and the RCMP who have always been paid by this benefit since the beginning of time. If Canada could afford to pay for them since the 1900s, then there's no reason why 40,000 Afghan veterans and 40,000 Bosnia veterans and 400 Rwanda veterans and so on, who have all been placed on active service and forced by the elected officials of this country to go to a foreign country under active service and put their lives at risk. Come on, like I think that I'm not saying anything that's unfair or unjust. If they've been doing it, they can continue doing it. Their lack of will of wanting to have to pay up, they should have thought of that before they were giving veterans money away to other agencies within Canada. Right?
Exactly. And
thank you.
And for the classification, you know, I really like the model that you gave us from Australia. As MPs, what do you think is the next steps for us to take?
So I think there should be some selective outrage here over the fact that we are one of the most bureaucratic nations in the world, and we put a label on everything. We do. We have a process. We sell those processes internationally. They're a big deal. The fact that the government of Canada has yet to put a label on its missions to accurately define for Canadians is a big issue, right? And the fact that you want to help is really inspiring for me, and I really enjoy speaking to members of Parliament. You are helpful, but we're up against the Department of National Defense. Somebody has to go into the Department of National Defense and tell them how things are going to go, and typically that takes a lot of work from Parliament. That takes bills and laws and so forth. I'd be happy to share with you a very simple mission classification system which would help you as politicians understand what we're asking Canadian soldiers to do. I'll just ask a very quick question of the floor. Are the people that are in Latvia right now serving the Canadian government, when they get attacked by Russians with an onslaught of missiles and rockets and bombs, will they be at war? Are they going to be under wartime service? Because I bet you it's going to feel like it really quick. And so there is no process to fix this. The process is fixing the executive level of the Department of National Defense and what I refer to as toxic white male behavior, where they basically subjugate everything.
Thank you, Mr.